Hello, hi, and assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are fine and okay. Today we are going to discuss Dante Gabriel Rosetti, whose original name is Gabriel Charles Dante Rosetti. He was born in 1828 in England and he died in 1882. He came from a very gifted family with a very strong literary understanding. His father was a scholar, and his sister, Christina Rossetti, was a very famous poetess. If we talk about his poetry, he was a master of sonnets. He became quite expert in writing sonnets. He was at the level of excellence in writing sonnets, right? Uh, and his work, The House of Life, is the witness of his excellence and his skill in writing sonnets. His sonnets explore the themes of passionate and idealized love, and there was also an infusion of the transcending of time. Rossetti's poetry revolved around the themes of love, desire, and disappointment. There is a high sense of emotion which is exploring both the spiritual and the erotic aspects of love. He also used quite vivid imagery in his poems, and his style was based on poetic experimentation, and it was full of rhythms. His poetry had a very significant impact on the literary scene of that time. He popularized the Italian poetry in England, and he was a painter and poet, and he was a very famous person in the context of the pre-Raphaelite movement, or you can say he was the founding figure of the pre-Raphaelite brotherhood. Pre-Raphaelite brotherhood was actually a group of painters who were treating religious, moral, and medieval subjects in a non-academic manner. So there was a medieval revivalism in his poetry. Most of his poems are influenced by John Keats and William Black, and his later poetry was so complex. If we talk about the poem choice 1, this poem is quite representative of his being a poet of Victorian era. I will explain the poem line by line, and then I will come up with its critical understanding. The first line of the poem is, "Eat thou and drink, tomorrow thou shalt die." Enjoy your food and drink because you will die tomorrow. Surely the earth that is wise, being very old, needs not our help. So the earth is now quite ancient and wise, and it does not need our help. Then lose me, love, and hold thy sultry hair up from my face, that I. Now he is probably addressing his beloved and telling her that let go of me and lift your beautiful hot hair from my face, so that I may pour for thee this golden wine brim high, till round the glass thy fingers glow like gold. So that I may pour this abundant golden wine for you, until your fingers around the glass shine like gold. We'll drown all ours thy song while ours are told, shall leap as fountains veil the changing sky. We will escape the passing of time and immerse ourselves completely, and your song will resonate like fountains that hide the shifting sky. Now kiss and think that there are really those, my own high-bosomed beauty, who increase when gold, when lore, and yet might choose our way. Now he says that now kiss and consider that there are others. He's addressing his beloved, that there are others who pursue meaningless wealth and knowledge, but they might still choose our path. Through many years they toil, then on a day they die not. For their life was death, but seas, and round their narrow lips the mold falls close. So they labor for many years, but one day they don't die, because their life has already been a form of death, and their lips are covered by the earth. Okay, so this poem reflects Rosetti's exploration of themes such as the temporariness of life, the importance of pleasure, and the contrast between mortality and immortality. The opening line, "Eat thou and drink, tomorrow thou shalt die," gives stress on the shortness and fragility of human existence. It is urging the reader to indulge in the present moment and enjoy life's pleasure while they can. The second line, surely the earth that is wise, being very old, needs not our help. It implies that the world will continue to exist and function without our help. So it suggests the insignificance in the grand scheme of things and emphasizes the temporary life of humans. The poet addresses his lover and urges her to release the speaker and take her hair off her face or his face. So this closeness shows a desire for connection. The inclusion of golden wine brim high and the image of the lover's fingers glowing like gold around the glass symbolize the richness of the pleasures of life. The idea of drowning all ours and the lover's song leaping like fountains, it gives rise to a sense of freedom, joy, and living the present moment. The final stanza also makes a contrast between those who are after the material wealth and knowledge, and then the speaker and his beloved who have chosen a completely different path. The speaker of the poem suggests that even though these others, they may struggle for many years for material things, but they will ultimately die and they will cease to exist. The word, the mold, uh, this image is actually falling close around the narrow lips, and it suggests the finality of death and the decay of the physical body of humans, right? So basically the poem talks about death and how life is short. It reflects the Victorian fascination with death and the idea of making the most of the present moment. It talks about enjoying the sensual pleasures like food, drinks, and physical closeness, right? It appreciates the richness of our senses, and this was quite common in the Victorian literature and art, right? The poem has a mixed view of morals. It questions the traditional ideas of right and wrong, and it accepts a more pleasure-seeking perspective. It also challenges the strict moral rules and religious beliefs of Victorian society. The use of images like golden wine, glowing fingers, fountains, they all create a strong sensory experience and an imaginative atmosphere. Symbolism, images, they were all quite important parts of the Victorian poetry, and all of these things are quite best employed in this poem, right? Rosetti, as we already know, that he was part of the pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. So they rejected the conventional artistic norms, right? And this poem reflects the same idea. It is focusing on beauty, intense emotion, and it is breaking away from the traditional way of creating art. Thank you very much. Take a very good care of yourselves. See you when I see you next. Good luck. Goodbye.